very much to The Pledge for their support. They provide effective financial planning advice. Ring the number that's shown on the graphic. Today, City face Southampton in the Premier League. 15 years ago, well, just over actually, City's last game at Maine Road, which is on the site, or was on the site where I'm stood now, was against Southampton. The Saints won 1-0 that day, Michael Svensson with the goal. It was at that end behind me. Obviously it's all gone now, but that used to be the Platt Lane end of the ground. The main stand would have been behind me now. That end would have been the North Stand. And this, in this area anyway, this would have been the pitch, of course, this would have been the Kippax. An old ground built in 1923, 2003, it was moved on and it was time for the Etihad Stadium, a fantastic venue. But a place, of course, here that holds many, many memories and still has memories on some of the road signs, etc., that remind us of the old days. It's part of the club's history and it should be celebrated. And just in case you don't remember the old Maine Road, this is an aerial view of the stadium, and now you'll see an inside view of the Kippax as it was in the very last days at Maine Road. Just behind me is where the old social club would have been. I've had some happy memories in there, functions and junior blues and all sorts of things down the years. Roy Clark used to run it, former City player. So I started the day down at Maine Road where the old Kippax was, and I finish the day, well, it's not quite finished yet, here at the Etihad Stadium for the City of 2018. Let's see what people remember of Maine Road and what they think of today's game.
This is a great stadium, it's got great views and everything, but I love Maine Road. You know, it was a brilliant place. There's no ground, I've still never been to a ground like it where you could get away so many different ways. It was fantastic, and the atmosphere there. I still remember my first games there, and it was brilliant. I love Maine Road. All around it, the pubs that we used to go in, and even the curry mile, having the kebab off there. Everything about Maine Road I loved, except for the odd result.
Are you looking back though through blue tinted spectacles, because the Kippax changed, didn't it? The ground changed as the years went on.
I did like the old Kippax, but I've always enjoyed being a blue. That's why I'm still here after all these years. I haven't missed a home game of any sort since '92. So obviously I've got a bit of affinity with even this ground now, but I love Maine Road, but this is good. It just needs a bit of atmosphere. Maybe that safe standing will put that back for people, I don't know, but yeah, I do like it here. And my daughter had great memories at Maine Road. She was a player escort on the last day, and she was a picture of in a programme from the christening day on the Chelsea day, which was the last day of the Kippax. So my daughter, at 9 years old, got a lot of memories from Maine Road.
Maine Road, I love Maine Road. I've been going since 1967-68 season. And it was like losing your father. It was just... But I thought, when I first came here, I thought, nah, it's not the same. But I'm glad we've moved. I'm glad we've moved because...
Still miss Maine Road, then?
Not for parking. Parking in the old streets for £1. I'll mind your car so we don't get scratched. Yeah, them were good days. But yeah, I think I do miss it in a way, but this is what football is now. We wouldn't have got a pitch like that at Maine Road. We wouldn't have got a football was playing on if it was at Maine Road, unless we'd have knocked it down and built it on the same place. So yeah, I'm glad we're here. I love it here now, but try telling the kids who's never been to Maine Road what they're on about, but yeah, love Maine Road.
There is nobody more appropriate than Alex Williams. Tell me your story of, because you grew up round there, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great place. It was a great heritage of football, great place in the past, Belly, Summerby. And for me to be born in Moss Side boys, stone's throw away from the Maine Road Stadium, and to go on to play for the club of my dreams really was a dream come true.
Can you remember going to your first match at Maine Road, or what it was like in those days?
I think
sneak in, did you?
No, one of my first recollections was you used to get in the Kippax stand early, and if you got in early, there were two main entrances where there was a white stone wall either side. If you got there early enough, you could climb up on the white wall, sit astride it, and you get a great view of the game. So they were the great old days.
So how does it compare to this ground?
I mean, the chalk and cheese, really. I mean, this is built to go, well into the future. It's a super stadium, but there is something nice about the old Maine Road Stadium. The fact the houses were right on top of it, and it's just that old nostalgia.
You've obviously been to both stadiums, Maine Road and the Etihad. Is there one that you prefer? Do you look back on Maine Road as the fondest one, or this one?
I prefer here, I think, because it's just where we've done everything in the last few years. Maine Road's special though, isn't it? Because it had like the atmosphere and just the whole place. But I suppose when you come here, you compare the two, facilities, everything really is so much better here. But I do like Maine Road, and actually I do go there quite frequently. And actually, scary enough, my daughter rented a house like on the next street.
Wow.
Last year, which was really weird. But yeah, so we drive through it all the time on the way home and have a look.
Well, this is still your spiritual home here now, is it?
Yeah, I think so. I know a lot of people don't agree with that because they think that Maine Road's, but then it's a hardcore. I suppose even here you still got the hardcore, 30,000+ fans that will probably go to everything, and then you've got the add-ons. And I know people talk about foreign fans, but they bring money in, don't they?
Obviously, you're an esteemed broadcaster these days, but there was a time when you were a tour guide, and you've obviously been a Blue all your life. What are your earliest memories of Maine Road?
Earliest memories of Maine Road have to be, 1989, I think was the first time I went there. We beat United 5-1, so I'm thinking, chosen the best football team in the land. Little did I know that it would be, 30 years of pain and before it eventually goes full circle. But it has to be little things, maybe away from the pitches. I'd say the smells, the carpets as you went in. Francis Lee's a good family friend, so I spent a lot of time with him in the boardroom before he was chairman, when Peter Swales was there, and obviously while he was chairman as well, which didn't go too well. But great memories with him. The smell of Malcolm Allison's cigar in the director's box. That's something I remember as a 4-year-old. Kind of, you imagine the seats here, these leather seats. We had these little ashtrays in front of them, and I could just always smell Malcolm's cigar as a 5-year-old coming into my face, which that's still with me today. Joe Mercer's wife behind, great sort of legends of the club, being surrounded by them at such a young age, probably before I knew how legendary they all were. But little things. Then I got older. I used to found this little pub. Can't remember the name of it. It wasn't the Claremont. It was further towards Rusholme, and I was sort of maybe about 14, 15. And there was a secret knock you could do, a little knock on the door. You probably still remember it now. And then they'd open the door and they'd be like, "Come on, in you come." And then they'd look after you. And I'd be on my own before. Then I went and joined Franny, sort of 3 pints deep at the age of 15. But great memories. Obviously Helen with the bell ringing. And then as you say, I used to do the tours at Maine Road at the end before we came over here. Did the tour here for about a year and a bit. So I used to know a lot about this stadium, which I probably can't remember anything. I think the biggest thing we could tell people when we first moved here was, look, that's Ricky Hatton's box up in that top right corner under that side. Obviously there's a lot more to tell and to show since then, but they were the little things. I think it was, like I say, things as a kid that make you fall in love. And to be honest, I fell in love with them because we were awful. And all my friends were United fans, or I went to school in the south, so a lot of Arsenal fans at the time. And I fell in love with the fact, I enjoyed the fact that it was such a character builder that we would lose pretty much 60-70% of our games in a season. But made us what we are today, didn't it?
So which do you prefer, the two grounds?
Do you know what? I know the club won't like to hear this, and I'm a cynic. This place, look, you can't look at this place now, and especially with the new stand. It's an unbelievable arena, and obviously the memories are here are incredible as well. And I remember the day we first won the league in 2012. I was over in the East Stand, probably not far from Ricky Hatton's box at the time. He wasn't even in the box back then, but I took the day off, and so I remember being under about 15 people crying just at the bottom of my face in the concrete. There's no way I could work on a day like that, and the same going to Wembley for the FA Cup, the first one against Stoke. But I'm a sentimentalist, Cheesy. I'm a romantic, a bit like you, and I miss those days. Do you know what? I'm a weirdo as well, because whenever I'm feeling a little bit strange, a bit unstable, I'll drive back. See, if I'm driving back from London, I'll drive back via Maine Road and stand on the top of I used to when it was still boarded up for years after, stand on my bonnet and just look over and think that's where the Kippax was. And now obviously there's houses there. You go down there and there's an old concrete ball, I think, in the middle where the centre spot was. So yeah, I'm Maine Road. That's what I fell in love with. I remember when we got the Kippax, this is like the new camp. Look at this place. I just love how it was all sort of fitted together, and then there was a corner where you could still see through. It was like, oh, we'll just join that up, and different days to this, of course.
This place ain't bad though, is it?
This place is incredible. This place is absolutely incredible. And you know, let's be honest, when we first moved here, we struggled. We struggled to get the atmosphere going, as a lot of clubs did. As you know, even Southampton today, when they've moved from the Dell. I mean, you probably look at the teams in the Premier League now who've been in the stadium for the last 10-15 years. There aren't many, are there, really? When you know, Arsenal struggled when they moved to the Emirates and still do. I think we've got the atmosphere now when we need it on big nights. And yeah, look at it, the Tunnel Club here behind us. Just being down in the tunnel when we interview Pep Guardiola afterwards, and you've got this sort of this one-way glass where people who can watch from the Tunnel Club watch the manager being interviewed. It's an incredible place. It's just about, well, let's get the other end stuck on there as soon as we can as well, and get that Champions League under our belt, and we'll start filling it on those European nights as well.
What sort of mood you're in ahead of this game?
I'm in an optimistic mood. I think that there's another record to be broken, and I think we're going to drive on from today, you know, and sort of really pull away from Liverpool and start showing what we can do.
I know it's 15 years since City played Southampton in the last match at Maine Road, but do we owe them one for that?
We owe them more than that, do you know what I mean? We owe them more than that. I mean, my first Southampton game was going back in like the First Division, 1971, do you know what I mean? But that's when, before we got Mike Shannon, do you know what I mean? And then he came over to us. But I think we need to break a record today. We need to pull away, get the 3 points, and just drive on, and don't look back. So that's the words I've got for City today.
Tell me what you're thinking of the game then today. Let's start with you, Asa.
Well, I suppose City must be odds on to win, but they can be the most dangerous games. But we've got to stick up and look for City to win by a couple of clear goals.
The trouble with it being Southampton is people will expect them to win, won't they?
Yeah, I mean, I remember Huddersfield came here the tail end of last season and held City to a draw, so it can be done.
What about you, Kevin?
Yeah, I think Man City probably get used to playing this type of game at home, where Southampton can't afford to be too ambitious. We'll sit deep, try and rely on set plays, counter-attack. Shane Long's got pace, Danny Ings got pace, and hope on a breakaway or a set piece they can get something. But obviously it's going to be a long 90 minutes, I think, for Southampton.
I've been asking fans today about the memories of Maine Road, and you and your dad will have had lots of memories of Maine Road.
It was a great football stadium. Unusually, the Kippax, the home supporters, the bulk of them were down the side of the pitch as opposed to behind the goal. Generated a fabulous atmosphere. It was a great place to play football.
So as a fan, you got to play on Maine Road, didn't you?
Yes, it was a true privilege. It was the day after the end of the season. I had a fantastic time. The pitch was absolutely perfect. But most importantly, I scored a goal. And that was sweet. And it was top left-hand corner. But the worst bit is, my wife brought the video camera. She was busy talking to a mate of mine and she missed it. What a tragedy.
Unbelievable.
The kids saw it, and that's the most important thing. I scored a goal at City, and that's going to live with me for the rest of my life.
Would you like to play on this pitch?
I wish I could score here, that's for sure. But I'm too old for that now. But I tell you what, I'm enjoying what's going on here, and it's a privilege to come every time, because we're watching a work of art, a true work of art. This is so creative and it's so artistic. I'm taken aback when I see some of the movement, some of the fantastic ability that you're seeing. This is a privilege.
You're telling me Aguero's better than you as a goal scorer?
Too right. Far and away. Far and away. I might be able to lace his boots up, but that's the limit. That is the limit.
Bet today?
Yeah, I've had a bet today. I've had 4-1. David Silver to score any time.
Does that mean you don't want any more goals now?
Oh, I want loads of goals. I can give the money away. I think it'll be about 7-1 today, to be fair.
You're not bothered about your bet now?
No, I'm not bothered about my bet. I want us to score as many as we can, definitely.
The first 50 minutes were absolutely fantastic, magical. I think Sterling's been playing fantastic. He's been great. I mean, 4-1 at half time. It's great stuff. It's great. I'm just saying here now, we need to make sure that we get concentrating about next week, about midweek, no injuries. And I think, honestly, it's great time to be a City fan here. I don't know what more to say, really.
Would you not rather go and get more goals and never mind injuries?
No, I would love to. We will get more goals. We will get more goals this half. Absolutely nothing. But I just think now, I don't know.
Manage it.
Just manage it.
Manage it and think about midweek.
I'm still thinking about the midweek game with De Bruyne. We could have managed that a little bit better with hindsight. I understand the reason why, but I just think now Sterling's on fire. And if he's like anything like this next week, it's going to be a great armistice day. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely brilliant. Should have been a lot more.
6.
Should have been 8, 9. How many do you reckon, Davo?
Should have been 8. Brilliant. Great performance. Great passes.
Sterling
had a good game. Sané was excellent. And unlucky not when he hit the post. Brilliant.
Usual day at the office, wasn't it, really? Same as always the same. Easy game in the end.
You know what it always reminds me of watching this team? The Harlem Globetrotters.
Well, yeah, it does really, yeah.
Bit of style, bit of panache.
Yeah. Couldn't work out why they were trying to get Sane a goal though at the end. It's like everything tried to go through him, didn't it? He was obviously struggling a bit, wasn't he? Confidence-wise.
But I thought he played brilliantly, Sane.
I thought Foden would have nearly got that goal, didn't he, as well? I thought it would have been alright, wouldn't it?
I just think they're a pleasure to watch.
You watched some games down the years, I take it. How does this compare?
There's no comparison. It's the best team we've ever seen. City team, anyway. Well, we've got the best manager. That's why. So, yeah, they're fantastic.
I thought it's a great game. It's the first game we've been at the Etihad this season, and we've seen many City games, but 6-1. That's the best score.
That's the highest goal win for City we've seen. It's brilliant. Sterling.
It's getting better and better, isn't it, under Pep?
Of course it is. A bit worried about when he leaves, but yeah, it's getting better all the time.
Make your journey back home all right, won't it?
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. We're over tonight anyway, which is good.
Where have you driven up from then?
We come up from Tunbridge in Kent. We got up here yesterday and we had a tour around the stadium, which we thought was fantastic. A bit of a late night, wasn't it? But we came up early this morning, went over the academy. Couldn't believe the academy and the pitches. Unbelievable. So, living a dream, eh?
It's going to be a job getting that smile off your face.
Unbelievable, Ian. Unbelievable.
Enjoy.
Cheers, Ian.
Coming in to seeing you as well. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Brilliant.
Yeah,
keep doing it.
Brilliant. Yeah, keep doing it. We absolutely love it.
Cheers, thank you. Another sumptuous City performance. I can remember back in the day at Maine Road, which is how this vlog started, some great performances by Belley and Summerby and different eras, the Chewett Barnes era and under Kevin Keegan. But this football is just magnificent, isn't it? City turn on a 6-star performance and it's become fairly normal now to do that sort of thing. So a great performance, a great win. City next in action against Shakhtar Donetsk. That's of course on Wednesday. And I'll be going in the Tunnel Club for that one to give a little bit of a different perspective to that game. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Thanks very much again to The Pledge for their sponsorship. Read the graphic for more information on what they do.